Hey everybody, welcome to the December video.
Perfect.
Hey. Hey everybody, welcome to the December. Okay, I won't start with you like this.
Give me a minute, man.
Ready, set. Hey everybody, welcome to the All right, we still rolling? Let's get Sorry.
We're rolling.
Hey everyone, welcome to the December Dev Video Update. Super excited to be here with Dave and Katie. We have a lot to share today. We're going to talk about the Winter Convergence Festival Part 2, which is our second edition of that. We're going to talk about some of the changes coming for territory control. We have a new expedition, and then some other little announcements to give you. And if we have time, we'll get to it, the roadmap. It should be a pretty exciting show, so let's get after it.
Roadmap! Sorry, I got excited about the roadmap.
You ruined it. You ruined it.
Well, welcome back, everybody. Mike Willett here. I'm joined by Sean Puckett and Chad Redwitz, and we're going to talk about some of the cool stuff that's coming out this December. And I think I want to kick things off with Winter Convergence. So it's going to be year 2 of Winter Convergence, and we have one significant addition that's coming this year. But just to recap, it's our Winter Festival that takes place in Eternum during this time when the Northern Lights come out and giant gleamites just start falling from the sky, and you collect presents, all for the Winter Wanderer who's trying to prevent the forever winter from occurring on Eternum. But this year, we're bringing the Winter Warrior. He's the big baddie. Chad, why don't you tell us about this big baddie who's going to just start invading the world?
Yeah, he's out there. He's trying to ruin everybody's fun. So the Winter Warrior is another large format enemy for all you players out there. So similar to the Halloween event, definitely plan on bringing lots of your friends, shooting for somewhere in the order of 15 to 20. So it takes a good amount of people. He'll be spawning out in the world in multiple locations, just like Halloween. And he's a big giant fight, so he's out there. He's got lots of little kind of minion friends out to help him out in the fight.
The frigid folk.
The frigid folk, the ice dryads. So he himself has lots of fun, kind of challenging abilities. He'll be raining down these big giant hailstones, creating shockwaves to make them explode. And generally making everyone's lives a little bit of trouble.
He's trying to bring forever winter, so he's got to bring the ice, right?
Absolutely. So yeah, he's a nice big event there, pretty meaty. And like I said, bring lots of friends and should provide a lot of fun.
I'm very excited because it's also bringing some new rewards and a whole bunch of quests. But again, what's awesome about this time of year is what happens to all the surroundings, including the settlements. Sean, what was kind of like our inspiration and like how we drove to the visual look of our settlements?
Well, the thing about Winter Convergence this year is because this is our second time go around. So when we discussed it last year, we really wanted to bring something bright and festive to New World, to Eternum. We wanted something colorful. We started with the Aurora Borealis. We wanted to have our own color theme to what winter look like, or what would a holiday look like in Eternum. So we have our purples and our teals and our gold colors. Every settlement gets decorated with all of these decorations. And then what's great about this year is like Brimstone Sands. This is Brimstone Sands' first event. So Brimstone's is fully decorated now.
It's gonna feel like the holiday in July. Like everything's like hot on the outside, and then it's really cold on the inside.
Icy
cool
deserts.
Colors. Yeah.
Nice contrast.
Yeah, it looks amazing. I've already seen what Brimstone looks like, and the settlement looks amazing. And I know that we introduced some new skins, and we've introduced a lot of new features, and we've just like really scaled up what Winter Convergence was last year, and made it better for this year, and make it new for returning players, make it fresh and big for players who maybe haven't experienced it yet.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. And that's a great add to this December. But there's one other special treat that we have in store for everybody. And hopefully you had a chance to play it in the PTR. It's the Starstone Amrine mashup. And so we know there was a lot of requests to have a lot of our early game expeditions available for late and end game players. And so we spent a lot of time looking at like, okay, well, how do we get it to that parity? And Starstone and Amrine are connected in the lore. And as a matter of fact, you see in certain areas, like the connections and the paths in the background that actually link the two locations together. And so what we did is within Starstone, you have to go through that entrance, is you have access to this mutation, which now expands it, and now it includes the fight with Foreman Nakashima and Simon Gray. So that's added to this experience, and there's some new routes that you have to go through the Starstone expedition itself. And so now it's this all-encompassing kind of end-game activity, still intact with the cool lasers and unique puzzles, and also with the fight with Grendel, but now it's been leveled up for end-game play.
Yeah, I'm super happy we were able to revisit that, because a lot of people didn't get that much time to enjoy it, especially with kind of our new leveling curve. It's really quite quick, which is great, but you don't get to spend as much time in those expeditions. So it's really great to be able to revisit them.
So hopefully everyone gets a chance to play it in the PTR. Love your feedback, and then as well, as soon as it goes live, it's going to be right into the rotation. So we're super excited about that. So thanks, guys, and everybody, we'll see you in Eternum.
Welcome. We're going to talk a little bit about territory mechanics and talk about 3 different changes we're making to it. With me is Dan, the social lead. Nice way. And Rachel, one of the designers on the social team. All right, let's talk first about shell companies. They're definitely a problem in New World. We're starting to take some action. Talk to us through what we're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. I realized that before we haven't really talked about first what shell companies are. So maybe
what are shell
maybe
companies?
what are shell companies, Dan?
Lots of turtles, right?
Lots of turtles.
Oh,
Exactly. Yeah, so shell companies are when a company will make a little offshoot tiny company to go around in the world and try to own multiple territories they use the different companies to get around some of our
The war windows.
rules, the war windows, and circumvent those things. And so we're making a few changes to help mitigate that issue. The first one that we're doing is a company leave cooldown. So for 72 hours after you leave a company, you won't be able to participate in any territory control activities with another company.
So things like the influence game,
Right.
wars, things like that. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Still join another company, run around, have fun.
Because now we see people just kind of have like 5 companies. They'll just kind
Right.
of just go
Yeah,
around
you know,
them
like
all
kind
day
of-
long. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So we want to prevent that. It's not really how we intended that gameplay to be made. That's a weird phrasing. We'll keep going. And then we're going to...
It's only weird if you call attention to it.
And then we're also doing a war roster limitation. Do you want to talk about the war roster limits?
Love to. Yeah. So with the change of the cooldown, that wouldn't really accomplish much if you didn't have. So basically, what's going to happen is in order to fight a war, especially on defense, it becomes important so that you have to fight the war as the company. And the way we're going to do that is with a mercenary limit. So a mercenary being somebody like not from the company who's fighting in the war, which we like. We want to see that because we want people to like be able to especially like defend their faction. But when you're on defense, the number is 10. You get 10 mercenaries to use in a war. And then when you're on attack, this is something we adjusted in PTR. When we went out, we set that at 40 because we like the idea of companies being able to recruit
and like
like let's go get a territory. And we want to try to keep that in so it's still less than on defense, but now it's 25.
Okay.
So on defense, there's 40 company members or up to 50, depending on what you want. And then on attack, it's 25.
And one more.
And one more. There will be a daily war limit. So everyone can participate in one attacking war and one defensive war a day. That resets every day at 5 a.m. So, if you have any 6 a.m. Meetings for wars, you'll be good.
And I heard this is per account, right, Dan, to
Correct.
sort of help some of the people that might have multiple characters?
Correct. Yeah, and it's meant to. It's across the board. Everybody has this limit now. So it's the intent is for there to be more available war slots for everybody.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
And to be clear too, it's not a count, it's a count per world. So if you have characters across multiple worlds, you're good to go. You can have wars in all of them if you want to, but if you have 2 characters on one world, that limit applies to both of them combined.
True.
Awesome.
And if we can't wait to see what happens after December. This is not nice. This is not the end of what we do, right? Because we're pretty sure there are other things that we might need to address.
Yeah, and I think keeping in mind our high-level goal here is important, right? Our goal was to allow more people to participate in war and not to have like a small group of people be able to control multiple territories. So
Right.
that's a goal we're going to keep pushing. Hopefully these make meaningful changes. If not, we'll make some more.
Keep going. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about something else, crafting. So you've been on the Fresh Start Worlds. Like a lot of times I'll see in chat, where's our tier 5, alchemy station or something? So it can be sometimes frustrating when like the PvP parts of the world affect my ability to do crafting. Any thoughts on how we might be able to rectify this?
Yeah, so in December, we're making crafting tier changes. Again, they're on the PTR beforehand, so you'll be able to see them. But we are basically ungating a lot of recipes behind the tiers. So any procedural recipes, so recipes that you can have multiple choice inputs for your ingredients. So a lot of those recipes are now going to be completely unlocked. It doesn't matter what tier the station is at, you'll be able to do a tier 5 procedural recipe. A lot of named items are remaining locked. We still want tier 5 stations to be something to strive for and really aim for. But so a lot of the named items and other big ones are still locked, and things like the Arcana repository, it's a long word, it'll have things like, the mana and the health potions are unlocked, but all of our specialty ones will remain locked underneath.
So I can make tier 5 health potions.
You can make tier
Anywhere.
5 health potions anywhere you want.
Another nice reason to upgrade, because one of the dangers here is that people might not upgrade now that everything's unlocked. But one of the nice changes is with the income changes we made in the past, the income that towns make is dependent on the total territory level.
Yeah.
Sorry, the town level. So they still have good reasons to upgrade there. And there's other side benefits, like you said, the named. Are there any other benefits to upgrading a station?
Yeah, there's also going to be Azoth discounts. So if you like using your Azoth to get a chance at extra perks and everything, as the stations upgrade, you'll have a discount on your Azoth.
Awesome. Well, sometimes when we make changes, there are unintended consequences.
When we make changes.
This might have been mine.
Dave does his best to cover for us. We appreciate that.
So I did not like the experience that people are having a lot at the start, where you were able to power level through the game by doing town projects. Especially if you're in a company or some way to get a lot of money, not that anyone would RMT in the game. You were able to use that coin to quickly level up. And it just sort of circumvented all the gameplay we put, and it didn't feel like a good loophole. So we slashed the XP from town projects.
Yeah.
Did that have any consequences that we weren't anticipating?
It did have some consequences.
Let me just say, that changed. So I'm level 52 on a fresh start server right now. I've not done a single town project.
Yeah.
And it's going fast, it's great. But yeah, there was a side.
No, I think we're happy with the impact of that, but there might have been a side effect.
There was a side effect. We did see a lot of territories not upgrading because people weren't naturally motivated to go do those town projects anymore. So we are drastically reducing the amount of contribution required to actually complete those town projects. And so it'll be I think we're cutting it by about 70, 80%.
Wow.
It's a pretty solid chunk of contribution that will no longer be required come the December update. So hopefully that will help people really complete their territory projects. And obviously we'll continue to look at them and see what else we can do with our
so those
town
company
projects.
members that it's now within striking distance for a company to be able to upgrade all their own stations so that they can
Yes.
get that money.
There is still a time limit, though, right, before a project completes. So you can't sort of do them all in one day.
Right.
No.
Yeah. So yeah, once that time limit will still be there. But yeah, like you said, a company could do it as a fun company activity.
Won't be easy.
Won't be easy.
Well, I love the changes in the territory game. This is, a big part of our game. So we're going to keep working on it, keep improving it. Thanks.
All right, well, here it is. We're talking about the roadmap. I almost feel like we need a drum roll. But I do want to talk a little bit before we get to the roadmap. Specifics. A roadmap is just that. It's not a hard commitment on everything. Things change in development. We could run into problems. Things might come in a little later. I've even once or twice heard of things coming in early in game development, but it's very random and rare. And your feedback may change some of our thinking as we get going. But right now, this is what it looks like for us. So let's start with spring. First deliverable we can talk about in spring is the Empyrean Forge Expedition.
Nice. So the Empyrean Forge Expedition is a first part of a two-part story, right? So this is a storytelling piece. We're going to start with the Varangians, and there's a lot of fire elements. It's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, it's exciting. Every time we do a new expedition, it kind of changes like some of the end game, and it gets really fun.
Well, and I think this will be the first time you fight humanoids as sort of like the main enemy type, right? So that might come with some new itemization potentially. So neat stuff there.
Yeah, it's all about the rewards. All right, well, the next one, I think a few people have mentioned this next one, that they've wanted it. So another spring item is gear set storage.
Woo!
Oh my gosh.
Sorry, I'm really excited about this. So I am a crafter, and I also run mutations, right? So I have all my different crafting sets, and I have different sets for each mutation every time. So now I'll be able to quickly swap in and out of these things. It's super exciting.
See, I play the trading post game and I run mutations. So I need all of the luck gear that I can possibly get on so that I get as much as I can, but I also need to switch into tank or DPS depending on what they need. So this is going to be super exciting. I'm very stoked on this one.
Yeah, us being a game without classes, it's going to be a game changer, being able to just quickly get between those classes and play the game different, or like you said, into crafting or other stuff.
Yeah.
Players have asked for it, and they're totally right. The game is going to be much better for it.
Yep.
Super excited. Well, since it's spring, we have another event we're going to introduce, the Springtide Bloom, which visually, aesthetically, the set pieces are amazing. You want to talk a little bit about the event?
Well, so when you go into town, like you said, we're going to do a full makeover of the towns again, which is going to be great. And then there's an activity where you go out, you capture bugs, I think it is.
This is fun to watch them struggle.
There's a spray where you capture bugs, I think. You turn them in for tokens.
Yeah.
There's the whole store mechanic as usual, so you'll be able to choose which rewards you buy. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, anytime we do like the world-changing events, those are a lot of fun. So we're going to keep doing those as we move forward because we know the players like it, and we like the visual interest that they bring in.
Yeah, and like, not to go backward, but like we talked about in the Winter Convergence, every time these events come back around on the calendar, we're going to make them a little better. We're going to lean into them a little more. We're going to apply more of the feedback. So the first one is pretty exciting.
I remember what it is now. You harvest springtide flowers, and there's bugs around, so you need a repellent to prevent it from the bugs.
For the players to know, we're much better at this when we've played these, and these are right now not quite playable yet. So once they become playable, we'll be a lot better at commenting on them. And then the last thing is something that we talked about a little bit, which is we're going to do another round at our improving the main story line quests. And you know, the response to what we saw with Windsward and Monarch Bluff was really positive. So we're going to just take that a little further. And if you want to go into some details.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. The plan is to do it in the next two zones. So we'll do it in Weavers and Brightwood. And some of the big things we liked is we liked bringing the quests closer together so there was less running, adding more quest variety. And there's also some cool encounter changes in there to bring in a little more of like those open world boss fights. So,
and I think some of the storytelling also is going to be a little more crystallized for the players. It's going to be more clear.
For sure.
Yeah,
and full VO is big, right? So every
good.
quest will be fully VO'd.
Yep. All right, well, that takes us into summer. So my hat throwing moment would be this first feature I'm going to talk about in
Do you
summer.
need a hat? Dave has a couple. There we go.
My hat throwing moment is going to be transmog. This is something I've been wanting for a while in the game. I know some players have mentioned it. The ability to have agency, express yourself, however you want to call it. I'm so excited to get this in. And you know, I'm likely to want to keep some of the stuff I got on the beach I still would love to wear. So I'm really excited about getting in and decorating like that.
Yeah, I don't know about the stuff on the beach, but there's a lot of things around the world, like, Thorpe's helm. I would like to keep that, but once you hit, it's good for a pretty long time, but once you hit level 50, it's and 60 for sure, it's not super great, but I like the way it looks, and I would love to still have that on my character's face right now. So I am holding on to it.
I think the collection mechanic's really cool, like being able to see all the potentials and I'm going to want to check them all off, the sort of completionist.
Totally.
It's exciting.
Can't wait to min-max my way through Transmog.
Drew will have a spreadsheet now.
All right, well, the next one we're going to talk about is raid groups.
Raid groups is big, literally, because it's a big group. Sorry. So raid groups is an opportunity to bring 4 different groups of players together to create 20-person groups. So it's going to be a way to sort of do larger scale content.
Which is a great segue to our really cool thing that's happening.
I was going to say, because why do we need raid groups? That giant thing you see in Brimstone, well, you're finally going to get a chance to take it down.
The Sandworm Elite Trial. So I'm very excited about this. What is the coolest part about this is it is going to be our hardest to date PvE content. Like as we're designing it, I'm telling people if we can beat it internally, it's too easy. Like this, we want this to be like the ultimate. So it gives you something to aspire to as a PvE person. Because I think PvP players have wars and they have things where they can really flex their high-end gear. PvE players don't have enough of that. And this is going to be like, you need a fully coordinated group of 20 people. You need max everything to really defeat this.
I can't wait. Like it's going to be so fun, and we have some of the ideas we've been tossing around are really exciting, and
it's going to be good to put that into the rotation along with elite chest runs, having the Sandworm Elite Trial. It's going to be really exciting.
Yeah, and just from the moment you see it, you want to fight it. Like right now, I see it in Brimstone, and I'm like, oh, I can't wait till summer. It's going to be awesome. All right, well, the next one's another one that a lot of players have asked for, which is OPR cross-world. So you'll be able to play against other people in your region in OPR. Goal being get you that content faster. So if your server has queues waiting for OPR, they should be a lot faster.
Or if your server has a queue and it's just not popping because it's off hours, now you're more likely to get, or now in summer, you'll be more likely to get more people into those queues so that they can pop more regularly.
Yeah, and this is also, this is a gate to other things being cross-world. Once we have OPR working and it's feeling good, we start expanding that over time and bring other game modes into it. And I think it's going to help the game tremendously.
Yeah, our server team is watching every word that comes out of our mouth right now.
Yeah. No commitments on timelines. And then the last one we're going to talk about for the summer is the Summer Medley Fair. The next round of that. I think the last one was pretty fun. I had a good time with it. The music festival.
I miss the maudlin bugs. I gotta say it. I miss them as I run through. I'm like, where did that swarm go? I'm excited for them to come back.
Yeah, just having the dynamicism in the world, just making it feel different. It's
There's something sparkling
fun.
in the trees. Is it going to kill me, or can I play a tune and get a reward?
And then there's other things like I want to be clear with everyone. Like this is not the comprehensive list of what we're working on or doing. Yeah. These are the ones we're talking about. There are some other ones also that are going to trickle in throughout the releases, like the heart gems. Those are super fun. Yeah.
We'll be getting more of those.
Getting more of those. I'm trying to look at my cheat sheet if you see me.
Quality of life.
Quality of life changes. Yes, we're going to constantly be doing those, and more cinematics. We want to get more of those cinematics in the game. I think they're fun, and they really help us tell the lore story.
Absolutely.
Definitely looking forward to feedback on everything, especially the roadmap. Hopefully, it's what people were expected and excited about. And between now and the next one, you can look forward to a couple episodes of Forged in Eternum. Otherwise,
Forged in Eternum. Enjoy the Winter Convergence Festival. And then we also have another free weekend where we invite players into Eternum to play for free for a limited time. So look for news for that coming soon.
What a happy holiday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone, enjoy the holiday. Have a happy new year, and we will see you next year.
Roadmap.
All right. Thanks, everybody.